We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Miami Dolphins offense versus the Bills. Definitely a disappointing, frustrating game. But from what I saw on Twitter last night, obviously don't go on Twitter after a Dolphins loss if you don't want to lose your mind, because obviously it was very negative. I know people are very emotional, upset, and I get it. Trust me, I was definitely feeling that way as well. But I just feel like I have to come at this from a more logical, reasonable perspective because people are very overreactionary. The NFL is a very week-to-week league with how people take things, and to me, I like to look at things more big picture, how it's been all season. I'm not going to, change my whole opinion about a player or a team just based off a game or two. There's so much more factors that go into it, and to me, I know a lot of people looked at this game as like a must-win. To me, it was never that like must-win. They're like, if you lose, you're going home. So they're still going to the playoffs. I feel like people are acting as if the season's over. It doesn't change. You're still now. You just got to play on the road instead, and I don't think the matchup is even that much crazier. They would have played the Bills or the Chiefs. Feel like they even match up better versus Chiefs. So hopefully they can bounce back, because will just change everyone's mind about what happened in this game if they're able to do that. And I'm taking a look overall within this game. I didn't have the highest expectations, to be honest. I'll be honest. I didn't have crazy expectations. The Dolphins have pretty much struggled with the Bills. I don't think they match up very, very well against them, and they're decimated. People want to say injuries are excuses. But at some point, injuries are going to affect you as a team. If you Dolphins have way above league average amount of injuries, and it's big players and they're big injuries, and eventually that's going to, add up and become pretty impactful on the team. And I think it's definitely showed across the board. And then now looking at the offense, I mean, honestly, definitely the offense, Tua, Tyreek, McDaniel, probably the three guys that deserve the most blame for this loss. And then the Dolphins also just kind of got unfortunate. The biggest play in this game was a punt return for a touchdown for the Bills, and the only reason it happened is because one of their players, Cameron Good, I'm pretty sure tore his ACL or did something to his knee mid-play, and he was the one that would have been in position to at least slow the guy down, and most likely would have tackled him. And then he also bumped into Ingold, and I'm not going to blame Cameron Good for getting injured like that and accidentally taking out a player. And for the offense, I liked what they did in the first half. I like the things they were able to accomplish. Second half, things just fell apart. The defense, want to give them some credit as well, but it was very difficult, I think, overall for the Dolphins defense to get off the field, which I think hurt. The offense couldn't get anything going in the second half, and the defense, while they were doing a good job of keeping the Bills out of the end zone, those drives lasted a long time, so it was just like a rhythm thing on both sides. And now to get into Tua, Tyreek, McDaniel, what went wrong? I think, Tua got a lot of criticism. I just want to talk about Tua for a second. He got a lot of people giving up on him. To me, I don't think your opinion should change about Tua from this game specifically. Maybe it can slightly change, but if you're having a big time, you are way overreacting. If you didn't like Tua going into it, you still shouldn't. If you liked Tua and thought he was good, you should still think that these things happen. These are NFL players playing other NFL players. Bad games are going to happen. It's not like this has been some consistent thing all season. I feel like this is the first time all year where I think Tua takes a lot of the blame for the team's loss. I don't think that's really happened all season. I think there was other factors in other games. And, they were put in a tough spot and they didn't respond. That happens to the best of them out there. Because to me, I think Tua is a pretty good NFL quarterback. I think he has moments of being elite, but he's elite overall? No. I think he has some pretty clear limitations to his game that affect him. But when they're all clicking on all cylinders, I don't think anyone's running the offense better than he would. People think you're going to find an upgrade with him or McDaniel, good luck with that. Maybe you could, but it's not going to be anything easy. They still made the NFL. They still made the playoffs in their first two seasons together. Let this thing build. Let's see where it goes. They still haven't even played the playoff game. Biggest question about Tua coming into the season was his health, and he actually played all 17 games, so I got to give him credit. He played the full regular season. No one thought he could do that, so credit there. And then Tyreek. Tyreek's just not healthy. He's not healthy at all. He had multiple drops in this game, big drops. You can tell he's been a huge factor for some of these losses as well in these big games, and he's just not there. You don't have Waddle, you don't have Mostert, and the offense just wasn't able to click. And then I'll show what my thoughts are with McDaniel, because people are just trying to say he didn't run in the second half, which is, that's fair, but I feel like it's an oversimplification for what really happened in that second half. So we'll show some of these first half plays, break them down, but then, which will be mostly positive, but then the second half is where things really, really get disappointing. I'll try to go over these first half plays quickly because, that's not really how it would affect the game. But you still got to show them to show, the full picture. They do this, like the misdirection toss plays. They ran this a lot in either game, like 10 plus, and went big plays, or it was like a negative gain. So, but overall, I think this was a pretty effective. Use this to freeze the linebacker, get Achane out in space. He was super explosive. Achane was probably the best offensive player. I do think the O-line actually played pretty decently as well. So give them their credits. People making good blocks out in space, but Achane, super explosive. I think he is a very key part of this playoff run. The first interception. This one, there's a few different interceptions they can have. You know, whether it's a bad decision, just a missed throw. Sometimes it's not even on the quarterbacks. It's like a receiver's fault for being in the wrong spot, or just like it got tipped and it was kind of unfortunate that it was intercepted. To me, this one, I think it's a good decision from Tua to attack the seams. It's cover 3. He sees this safety come down, so he knows this safety's not going to probably get all the way over here to make an effect on this play, so he wants to attack this down the seam. This corner does make a really good play. He's able to get over the top. I think Tua underthrows this a little bit, and it gets picked off. And then I don't mind the interception as much overall, just because it is a 3rd and 7, so it basically turns into a punt, but it was still a miss by Tua. The other interception is definitely worse, as we'll get to. It'll be the last play we look at, because it's the last play of the game. And not the greatest start there. But then after this, the offense was able to get going in the first half, as you guys saw last night. And there were some good things that they did. It just was not able to continue. And that stuff is very disappointing. But that's what happens in the NFL sometimes. Even the greatest quarterbacks, the greatest players, the greatest coaches, the greatest, team, they have their struggles. And it definitely showed in this game. Craycraft, got to show this just for, Craycraft out there getting this cover 2 look, and I feel like he should have been the next target. To me, I've been saying this all year long, like after Waddle, after Tyreek, I feel like Cedric has been that third guy, and I like Cedric, but I feel like Craycraft is the most reliable option on this team with the timing of the offense, knowing exactly where to be, and him and Tua always seem to be on the report, like those in breakers, those quick slants, things like that. Also, good job here by Tua, actually. It was a low snap literally at his feet, and he catches it off the ground, stays patient in the end zone, still finds River, and that was a pretty nice play to get them out of a tough situation. This is a big play to get a touchdown later in the drive, because this is 3rd and 14, and they hit Tyreek over the middle, versus quarters at the top here, and it's a pretty tough throw to make right here. He just sees 7 get a little too wide. He's just reading number 7 here. He sees his hips, his momentum going this way, so he's throwing this with timing, anticipation behind this. Get Tyreek Hill up there. They asked them to make a lot of these throws into very tight windows, very layered. He has to put a lot of air on it, and Tyreek took some punishing hits as well, not in this specific play, but those windows kept getting tighter and tighter. I feel like, to me, the biggest problem with McDaniel's game was not just stopping running the ball, because there was just no really opportunity in the second half, as when we'll get there, you'll see. I think they just try too hard to make these tough throws down the field. Like, people say this offense is easy to run. I don't think so. I feel like they just don't have the super easy plays. It's either this or RPOs, which is, not the same thing. I just feel like you just play pitch and catch sometimes, make it easy on your offense, keep the defense honest underneath, and but that was a pretty nice play, which helped them score a touchdown. Then the Achane touchdown run, obviously just another toss, pretty much the same concept with the misdirection right there. And Achane, if you get him out in space, man, he absolutely took that safety's ankles. Disgusting work, great blocking up front too. Good job by Smythe. Everyone does their job getting these guys upfield. Barrios blocking out in space, Eichenberg blocking out in space, Jackson blocking out in space, and then he gets one-on-one with is that Poyer or Hyde? I'm not sure. But yeah, he just absolutely takes him, takes his ankles right there. Disgusting. Really, really good work from Achane. Want to see more of this, obviously, down the line in the playoffs. He's a key part of this offense, and I think even with Raheem back, he should still be getting a lot of touches. Just a few more plays before we get to the second half. This was their second touchdown drive. Dolphins go seam rail slide RPO, the bread and butter. Tua does a good job with his eyes here, manipulating, getting these guys to the outside. Gets this guy widened enough, but then, doesn't want to throw it into this, so he puts it back shoulder. Good job, good ball placement to protect Smythe and get it to the open spot. These were nice plays that I like to see the offense having. This is another really nice play, 3rd and 3, 24-yard gain. They even get holding here from Cedric, but this is just a great throw. Good route to create separation and draw the holding call from Wilson. They get the cover 1 look. They're, cheating to Tyreek Hill's side with the safety, so they just get true 1-on-1. They take advantage of it, which was just a big-time conversion. If only they could have kept this up for the whole game, but sometimes this happens. I love this call. The Dolphins have been throwing those fades all year long, and this does a really good job of like selling that's going to be a fade, and then you just break the pylon to Tyreek, throw it right there with timing anticipation. It's so hard to guard this, and they orbit motion Durham Smythe as well just to get them this one-on-one look, and that's the stuff. I like throwing stuff to the pylon in these situations. I feel like they should have been doing this much more often to get Tyreek isolated instead of throwing the fade balls, but this is something I definitely want to see going against the Chiefs if they get down within the goal line red zone situations. Okay, so here is the second half. The second half starting. This is the first play, first drive I'm going to go through right here. First 3 plays. Bills come out in single high. I think, I don't mind this adjustment to be like, okay, they're going to come out. They're expecting the run. The Dolphins ran the ball really well in the first half. Bills are throwing an extra guy in the box. I don't mind this. Come out, throw a screen. A screen is basically the extension of a running play right here, but also getting the ball into Achane, pick up 4 to 5 yards. That's pretty solid. Then, it's 2nd and 5. What are they going to do? They come out, motion across. They run a seam reel slide RPO. Also kind of another extension of the running game. It's not, really open down the field right here. And so he takes a dump off to Hill. Really good play by the safety to get down and make a big hit, but they pick up 3 yards. So now, you didn't run the ball in the first 2 plays, but it was kind of, quick passes. I don't mind that. It's a different way of moving the ball down the field. Plus, they were playing just single high. And now in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 3, you're most likely throwing this ball to the first down. And it was just unfortunate. This is kind of a big thing. They get Berrios down within the flat. He just runs it and sits there. He's just an inch short of the first down, and he's not able to pick it up, and then you have to punt. So that's how basically that first drive didn't go their way. I feel like that would have changed momentum if they were just able to pick up that extra inch to keep the drive going, keep the defense fresh, and sometimes it's a game of inches. Okay, so this is the Dolphins' second drive. They had a good first play, like a 15-yard gain to Tyreek down the field. So that was like, picking up a first down, nice to get the momentum going, and then they have a false start. So then they come out in 1st and 15 in the second half. And then this is the play that gets overturned. Play action, get around, good work from Tua with the pocket movement, and he just leaves the ball too low. I think this is kind of a miscommunication as well. I think he probably expects Tyreek to break it off a little sooner and float a little farther than he wants to. So I would say that's more of a miscommunication, slight miss, and then Tyreek is just barely not able to hang on to it. So I'd probably, give them both a little bit of blame for this, but they got to be able to get this stuff on the same page. This stuff hurts you because... And this drive basically ended because of penalties anyways, because there's the false start on the first down, and then they have another big play after this. They have an illegal blindside block, and they actually get a decent look here too. It's play action. This safety, he moves him to the inside. Good work from Tua. He gets his one-on-one look. He makes a good throw. It's just a really good play by the DB. He gets his hands in there. Sometimes there's really nothing you could do, and then they get penalized for it anyways, 15-yarder, and then that's like right there from angled. They call that, and that pretty much takes away the drive as well. It would have been 3rd and 15. They did pick up a 3rd and 14 earlier. Maybe they would have picked that up, but then it became 2nd and 30, and then they ran the ball. The drive, basically, second drive ended due to penalties, so that was an issue for them. And after the first drive, they came out, passed 3 plays just to keep the defense honest, but it was a quick passing game, so it was to not really go away from the running game too much. The second drive, you don't really even have a chance to run the ball because of, the penalties that really hurt you and put you in these longer situations. Then the third drive, they come out, try to run the ball for the first 2 plays. It pretty much does nothing. They lose one on the first right there. It doesn't get blocked up super well. Bills were clearly still expecting this. This is why I don't think they just gave up on the running game. It just wasn't really, the opportunity just wasn't there. Like, even when they went to it, it just didn't work. First 2 plays don't end up happening. Then they get, it's a 3rd and 9, and they get 2-man against the Dolphins. They motion Berrios out. Tyreek's basically getting doubled up top. It's not there, so Tua comes back to the middle of the field. Nothing is open. This is pretty much his only opportunity. He's starting to feel some pressure. He's got to go to Cedric over the middle. The guy's actually probably hooking Cedric. Could have possibly been a penalty, but they just make a good play, good defensive stop to get him off the field. And sometimes those drives are stopped. Not really anyone to specifically blame overall. It's just that's what happens. This is the type of stuff that I think is just like everyone can take some blame here, from Tua to Tyreek to McDaniel. They're constantly running this type, of routes concept with Tyreek, with others. They, have this guy basically running a clear out with Tyreek running behind it, but look how much depth is gained so quickly by these linebackers. Like, Tua's feeling the pressure pretty instantly on this play. It's like one of those plays where he got some pressure on him pretty fast. He does a good job within the pocket. Nothing is, really open. He has to get rid of the ball right now, and he makes a pretty good throw. He gets it over these guys like he wants to. Tyreek's in the right spot. He has to put it a little high to get it over these guys. He probably could have put it a tiny bit lower. Would have been nice to see Tyreek make a big catch, but it also just puts these guys in a tough spot. Like, Tua constantly has to make these crazy throws. Tyreek has to make these catches down the field that then he potentially could get hit from, because it's really the only option to throw it to in these types of situations. So sometimes I just feel like they come out on 1st and 10, and I don't mind doing this stuff because the Dolphins do it better than everyone else. But, like, if you're not going to keep them honest within the middle of the field just with the quick passing game with these linebackers, or have just an option here to throw it underneath, then it just puts your guys overall in a tough spot. And that was my biggest problem with some of these play calls, especially before it was like the final drive where they really needed to throw the ball down the field. This was definitely something they need to get better at. Then they bring that all-out blitz. Tua gets rid of the ball quickly, throws it to Tyreek. He's probably expecting him to look a lot quicker, and it still ends up going exactly to Tyreek's hands, and then it just gets knocked out. Would like to see him make a tough catch here. He might have been able to throw it to Durham Smythe, but Durham also might have gotten hit by this guy right short of the 6. Would have been close. But either way, he throws it to Tyreek, puts it in perfect placement ready from the safety here. Hits some. That anticipation throw is actually ridiculous, and it gets knocked out. So just want to see Tyreek make some big-time plays in these situations, but he just doesn't look healthy, in my opinion, which is another big part of the thing. Like, they're decimated with injuries from guys not playing, but even the guys that are playing are also pretty decimated with some injuries. Now we get to the final drive. Some quick passes to get down to the 50-yard line. Pretty solid work to begin with. And then there was 2 plays that we're going to get to. This one, which was the defensive pass interference. Tyreek, like, he gets hooked, and I understand, and throws him off balance a little bit. But, like, if he catches this, there's a lot of room to work with. He gains at least another 10 yards. Potentially, make a guy miss, pick up another, possibly a touchdown. But just another drop that hurts the team. It does pick up the DPI, but it only gets you like 10 yards there. It could have been so much more. It would have been a huge momentum changer. And then, you get into your next play, which gets Tyreek Hill coming off the field, which he kind of gets hit. Ball has to come out. Tyreek gets injured, and then you get into that interception situation. So here's the interception. No Tyreek Hill on the field. It's cover 2 man. This was Tua's worst play of the game, and also not good work from Claypool as well. So they don't have anyone on the field. They're definitely playing 2-man. They see no Tyreek. They're playing 2-man. There's no one to threaten them in man-to-man. They do not have the receivers for that. No one's really getting open. There's no one open across the board. Like, everything is shut down. Tua is staring this down and just trying to make a quick throw. And I wouldn't have minded this throw too much if he was under pressure, being like, I just got to get rid of it. But no, you got to throw this away. Nothing's open. Just throw it over Barrios' head or something, or keep it, out of the end zone, throw it at his feet or something. And Claypool runs a terrible route as well. He rounds this off way too much. Like, if he gets super flat, maybe Claypool can cut off the safety and use his body to shield that. So I think, Claypool also deserves some blame, but Tua just cannot make this throw. And but I also saw people saying, like, after this throw, like, as if not other people throw interceptions like this in a tough situation. Like, not every quarterback's ever done this, saying that, he's not the guy. People are just super overreactionary, but I mean, there's definitely fair criticism to have. It's a terrible decision and throw right there, but you got to force it at some point in this situation. It still just was a little too early to do this. I would have, wouldn't mind this if it was like a few plays later, because they still had some time, but just a tough game overall. Blame to go around, and they also just got kind of unlucky with the punt return stuff. Bills caught a touchdown off like a helmet, which was pretty dumb, but yeah. Overall, just an unfortunate game, but I don't think it's, end of the world as some people think it is. Definitely some fair criticism to go around. But, we'll see how they bounce back versus the Chiefs. It's definitely important they win that. It's still been a pretty good season for the Dolphins. People try to take that away. Still one of their best seasons they've had in many, many years. They win the game versus the Chiefs. It's definitely their best season they've had in a very, very long time. And we'll see how it plays out. Looking forward to it. Hopefully people have calmed down a little bit. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to comment and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Peace.